Yeah, Germany and I actually booby-trapped the nuclear defense system. It was only supposed to fire at space targets. It wasn't even supposed to fire at ground-based targets. So basically, sometime around 1940, 1950, they probably realized that basically that it was just a defense system. Like I said, I owned Germany, and I didn't want Germany to be nuked, and I didn't really care about. I just was like, it's only a space defense system, nuclear system, but nobody knew that. So we were gonna allow, and even the president. It was probably better that the president didn't know exactly how the nuclear system worked because Nixon really did want to press the button. So anyway, and he would have just rewired it right away. So if he actually had known that back in 1960 or 1950 or whenever he was in the White House, so which I don't even know if anybody ever let him in there. But anyway, because he wanted to press the button. So anyway, it was just a defense system actually. It wasn't even meant to strike ground based targets. And when the engineers started looking into it and trying to, when he finally did want it, he wanted to use it as a threat or whatever. He might have found out that it was booby trapped. Like I said, if you messed around with it too much, it would go, and the whole system would fry. All the wiring, everything. It had a trip line in it, so if you messed around with it too much, you would basically shunt the power directly into the wires, and the whole system would go. Because we didn't want anybody messing with it. So Germany set it up that way, so it would fry if anybody messed around with it or tried to rewire it or anything else like that. So it would just fry itself. So anyway, and that also came into the part where I didn't want to get fried though. So anyway, and probably fry me too. So and one way I could die. So anyway, but whatever. Anyway, but they poked around with it a little bit and they couldn't figure out how the hell it worked because there wasn't really any clear, other than maintenance logs, there wasn't any clear way how it was wired or worked in there. So they couldn't really rewire it. So anyway, I don't know. He just uses a thread, I guess. So eventually, I guess they did rewire it, probably at some point, so they could strike land-based targets. But they would have to figure that out, and I guess over the last 40 or 50 years, they have been figuring it out. And eventually, I think they did rewire it, and that was when they built the new nuclear football. So now the new president can hold the world hostage, which was really Nixon's plan. So anyway, we're a little behind the times on all the whole holding the world hostage and everything else. That was actually JFK and Nixon's plan, and he's dead, I hope. So anyway, that was what he wanted to do. So anyway, yeah. So, and some people would say I'm embarrassing myself, but I'm not really because I was part of Germany, and we didn't want to get nuked. And we knew that nine out of 10 times, if you build a nuclear attack missile, it's probably going to be used on you first. So anyway, so we built in booby traps and all kinds of other stuff, and when we built it, so, but nobody knew that until about 1940, 1950, when they actually tried to use it. So anyway, so yeah, and turn this off. Anyway, so that's what. So they finally figured out around 1940 that it was booby trapped and that they couldn't mess with it too much. And then later on they rewired it, and I think those people put in booby traps too, or something like that, and blah blah blah. Whatever. So then again, nobody could mess around with it, or else the missiles would launch or something. I booby trapped it so it'd just fry the system, and they booby trapped it so the missiles would launch and do their first strike cable. Yeah, nuclear annihilation. Texas style, or Nixon style. So anyway, sometime around 1960 or 1970, I think he maybe figured that out and had it rewired or something like that. So with his booby traps or something, I don't really know. Anyway, so that's the way it is now, I guess. And then I think they shot the programmers and people who worked on the system, so nobody would know, or something like that. So yeah, he was psychopathic. Anyway, so all this stuff nobody knew about, but yeah, I knew what had happened with my presidency. It actually means present, as in I'm present, and where's my present? Where's my White House in my DC building? It's a present as a gift. It's a gift from Germany to me. So, anyway, at least I think it was. Anyway, whatever. I mean, I had helped Germany a lot, so they were helping me with my defense system or something like that. Anyway, whatever. A long time ago. Anyway, and it happened over a couple years of time, basically. And I was even worried about it being used for strike-capable stuff because I didn't want to hold the world hostage and I didn't want to be a world murderer. So, anyway, yeah, and I'm Lucifer Star. Why would I want to blow up other people? I'm more worried about space problems, like people coming to kill my little planet or stuff like that. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, and the system's actually able to track jets and other things that would be bombing my cities and stuff like that. So I could nuke an aircraft and nuke anything above ground, but not actually nuke anything on the ground, which Germany was kind of okay with, and other people were okay with. So anyway, that's the way the system was designed and built because they thought I was a murderous, rampaging fool, but I wasn't. And I was never even in the White House. So anyway, yeah. All these stuff that the president has been holding back from you. I know. Shocker. And then possibly some computer programmers broke in there and wanted to use it for their first strike capable system. But it wasn't really hackable because it wasn't hooked up to anything. And besides, it was really low tech. Actually. That's the funny thing. It's really low tech. Nope. It's not really a computer system exactly. It's more electronic and physical than anything else. So they couldn't even hack it. It's all wires and doodads and things that we don't understand. No, you won't. So anyway, but the people maintaining the system knew how it worked and all that other stuff. Anyway, and let's do a couple of this and a little bit of other stuff, and basically a fork. I gotta fork you. And they maybe knew somewhat, but most of the people who actually built the system, which were Germans, were actually dead or something. So anyway, yeah, and they were just the maintenance crew. So anyway, and they had to just rip out all the wiring and take it apart slowly, and it took them like years to figure it out so they wouldn't fry the system or launch the nukes because they were paranoid fools themselves, and we're actually going to make it so we could launch the nukes. So they thought that I had done the same thing and blah, blah. And somebody was like, so what if it launches the nukes? Just pull it or something like that. I don't really know. So anyway, but it fried the system or something like that, or they took it apart and fried the system. I don't know. But anyway, basically they had to redo the whole system at some point in time. So anyway, so then they could maybe launch to a target on the ground. So anyway, yeah, I hate to break it to you, but the White House was always trying to kill everyone. But we had a lot of different conditions, different ways that they couldn't do that. So, and it probably took them 50 years to figure everything out because it was all underground and all in bases and all very sophisticated and technical. And they weren't very sophisticated or technical more than they had a gun. So they were just trying to order people to do their dirty work, and that didn't work out too well. Anyway, whatever. So, oh my gosh, yeah, I know, crazy, right? But yeah. Well, it was Lucifer Star's house, and they were going to kill me, so no one would know that I was actually Lucifer Star's house. So, anyway, yeah. So they would have to literally take out a nuclear missile, reprogram it, which, like I said, there's nuclear energy inside there. There's nuclear things, so you take the cone off. Booby trapped it. No, it's called nuclear energy or nuclear radiation. It's not a booby trap. It's just death when you take the cone off to reprogram the computer. So anyway, so yeah, because the computer is somewhere in the nose or somewhere else like that, and in order to get to the computer, you have to take the cone off, and then it's actually a shield. And people who took apart nuclear missiles that didn't know anything about nuclear missiles found that out the hard way. Yeah, it's a shield. Keeps everyone else from dying. So anyway, yeah, until it goes boom. So anyway, yeah. And they figured that out sometime around 1940, 1930, 1960. You stupid motherfuckers. Don't fuck with someone else's missile. Yeah. So a bunch of people died that way. When they took the shielding off. So, and then got irradiated and died. I don't feel so good. So yeah, don't fuck around with someone else's missile. So anyway, but they were fucking around with my missiles, so that's what happened.